right, yeah, I'm not a huge person on meetings and stuff. I've gotten to the point in my life where small talk, I'll do that with friends and family. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I'm not a company Negro, y'all. I'm not. I don't care about all this. I don't care about your DEI, your woman empowerment movement. Nothing. I don't care. I care less. I'm worried about my folks. I don't care. Yeah, I could care less about, the skydiving and the new video games coming out and your dog and all that. I could care less. Maybe that's not a good energy that I don't care. Put me in the room or put me somewhere in a basement somewhere. I'm fine. I'm about doing my job and getting y'all some money and giving you guys some experiences in the game I have. I could care less about all that. I don't care. And a lot of them don't care either. It's just a front to walk around and drink this all day. Nobody give a damn. That's why I said when I made that little thing about when I'm at Target, I'm seeing black folks everywhere. I don't give a damn about this shit. Don't nobody give a damn. Folks living their lives. It don't benefit us no way half the time. We be over worried about stuff that we either can't change or don't benefit us. Not at all. No plan, no implementation, nothing. So, as I covered in the digital journal, some of the things will be coming up. I'm gonna do a story time. I'm trying to think of which one I could do, but I was gonna bring another section of information, but I thought I would make another video, so I might do that. But I got another video uploading right now, the digital journal, I think 29 or 30, whatever one it is. And we use the term brother chat. That was something that I came up with amongst some friends that I was working at a company and stuff. It's AI. I don't know why we call it brother chat, but we be in the chat, and maybe because of like Big Brother, and we call it brother chat. So we called it brother chat, and I'm like the angel and the devil on the devil's shoulder with AI. It's like you could do a lot. You could do a lot with it, man. You can do a lot of different stuff. So it's a tool. It's another tool. I think ultimately it's gonna put us in some weird positions, but it's a tool. So as I just made a post, you can use it. You can use it. You know what I'm saying? But you can use it for different things, anything. Recipes, you come up with cookbooks or whatever. Like, what did Jean-Claude Van Damme say in Hard Target, that movie that came out in 93? We don't need to work hard, work smart. So I'm going to try to get an interview. There's a brother I've been working with as a software engineer. He out of Staten Island, I think, or something, like somewhere on the East Coast. He got that East Coast accent. So I'm going to try to get him on an interview. A brother I've been looking for some stuff for him, software engineer. And, even the software engineers are going to start using brother chat. I would. You could use it for Python, all kinds of stuff. You create code. You could do a lot of different things that people just don't want to do. Like, for example, remember when I used to fix computers? When I used to fix computers, a lot of people knew how to do it. They didn't have time. They don't want to be dealing with that mess. They just don't. They simply don't want to deal with it. Some people, time is money. They orchestrate their day off of time. They don't be sitting around BSing or whatever. I'm talking about real successful people that came to me and wanted stuff done. They look at their day, every moment of the day, as, okay, I could be doing something else. So they rather just pay me to fix their computer because they got other stuff to do. They don't have time to be sitting around there fumbling and stuff like that. And I feel that way sometimes. Sometimes, especially when we were running our business, especially when I was working remote, And I was doubling up, man, please. I ain't got, if one of my computers start messing, I'm not about to sit. I done already spent 17 hours a day sitting in front of a computer. No, I'm bringing it in. If something happened to it, I'm bringing it in. I ain't got time for that shit. So, you can use Brother Chat. There's this thing that I'm going to try to review that my homie sent me called Cursor. So I'm going to try to talk about that this weekend. I didn't get the chance to talk about it because I just forgot. Night Cafe. There's a bunch of stuff out here. Now you may have to pay for some of that, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You can charge people to do certain stuff, websites and graphic design. A lot of the graphic designs are going to be through Brother Chat. I prefer watercolors and, I prefer real, but if you just going to do an album cover with a man, but it is kind of mess up painters, whatever. But see, AI is not going to be able to make emotion. For example, like business analysts and stuff. You need a mind. You need somebody there. Data center. You need somebody there. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go into my story. So I'll pause it for a second. So this story was about. Well, I ain't got to ride in the Chevy music, so I may have to put that in there afterwards. This story was about. I was in St. Paul. I had my Oldsmobile Regency. It's gonna be a fairly quick story. And I had my Oldsmobile. And I think I might have had, it might have been the red one. I'm not sure. But around that time, it could have been the red one. So I might have closed the one-stop shop. It might have been. It might have been. It could have been the blue one, but it might have been the red one. I don't know. But so, this is by like the near north, not the near north area, but I forgot where they call it in St. Paul. It's off of Rice. So when you come down Rice, University and Rice. And I don't even know if I took the freeway or whatever like that. So I'm doing my thing. I'm hustling, doing whatever. And I think I might have still had the store, maybe. So I'm driving down the street. I'm getting ready to pick up this some chick I met. I don't remember where I met her at. But she was she said she was West African. And she ain't had no accent or nothing like that. But when I get to her people house, I think we was just going to hang out. She had the bag. You know what bag I'm talking about. She had the weekend bag packed. So I'm like, all right. So now I meet some of her people. I don't know if her pops was there. I don't know. It was some of her people were there. Now her people, they was foundationals. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe her mom was West African and her dad was a freedman. That's what I think. Because, ain't nobody had accent in the house. Nobody. But she said she was from West Africa or whatever. So I don't know. I didn't really get into all that. She could cook some mean fish. She cooked some fish. I had some fish, man. And she said it's like some West African fish. I don't know if I got any West African folk that's listening to this. But it's some fish. And I was having trouble with the bones. But, man, she cooked me. She brought some fish. And there was a bunch of it in like a box or something like that. I'm telling you. It was good. And it was spicy. And I like spicy stuff. So we eating the fish. I don't even know if I was drinking around that time or smoking, whatever. We was drinking. We was drinking. So we go back to my apartment. And this was during the day. Now I don't remember that was the first time I went over, the second, but here's the story. We go, I think, matter of fact, no, the first time I went over there, that was during the day when she brought the fish. The first time I went over there was at night. Now, I just got this car. That's how I know it must have been the Oldsmobile Regency, the leather one. I should have never sold that car. Never. I should have kept that to this day. I'm going down Rice. And I just got the car, so the plates were new, or either something happened with the plates. I think my plates kept falling off, or I don't know what it was. So I didn't have no front plates or back plates, one of them. I'm driving down Rice. This wasn't Edmond, Jessamine. I think it was Jessamine. So Jessamine or Jessamine, that's where I'm getting ready to turn into. So I'm blocks away. I see St. Paul PD behind me. They're blocks away. So I ain't had no plates and I ain't really want to get pulled over. So I didn't run from them because they didn't have their lights on at the time. But once I seen them behind me, maybe 5 blocks or 4 blocks away or whatever the case may be, maybe they was reading my plates. Once I seen them, I bust a quick right. They must have sped up because they were clocking me or whatever. And once I bust that right, they're a couple blocks behind me. I hit the accelerator. They still ain't got their lights on, so I'm not fleeing the police. I'm just trying to get to another block, hopefully, to where they don't pull me over. That's what I'm thinking. Wasn't that smart, but I just didn't want to deal with St. Paul PD because I'm from Minneapolis and I got these plates and I know they're going to be some dickheads. So speed down that block. Turn on the left. Right when I'm getting ready to turn, they hit their lights. Well, now I got to pull over. They still weren't behind me. They had hit their lights when I made that turn again. So at that time, I pull over. He gets behind me. You trying to run from us? I said, your lights wasn't on. He said, well, that's true. He said, I ain't gonna argue with that. What you doing over here? Because he had asked for my ID and my license. My paperwork straight. So I don't know if I had a blunt in the car. I don't know what but I did not want to get pulled over. So I figured, well, if I could make a left or a right or whatever, and then they can't find me or something. But no, they was up on me. Because I'm slowing down when I'm going through the neighborhood. They're not. They're trying to come upon me. So, you got any weapons in the car? No. No, I don't have any weapons. You got any drugs in the car? No. The answer is no. Can we check it? Absolutely not, sir. Okay. You in Minneapolis? They looking at my ID. You from Minneapolis? What you doing over here? You a long way from home, he says. I said, this is Twin Cities. He said, it's 10 o'clock. You over here on Jessamine, late. You know somebody. It done stopped. You know somebody, he says. I'm picking up this girl on, and I had the address. I said, I'm picking up this girl. Okay, how long you known her? I said, man, I'm just trying to have a good night. Ain't nobody in the car with me. They don't give me no ticket then because I didn't do anything. But they did say, well, your plates and stuff like that. I said, well, man, I just got this car or whatever. So they keep me down there for about 5 minutes and then they just let me go. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was thinking that I was going to try to get away. But they didn't hit the lights, so it wasn't like a chase. You see what I'm saying? But I didn't want to get pulled over. I didn't want a ticket. So that's how I was thinking. It wasn't really logical when you think about it. But they didn't hit the lights, so I'm going to drive like I normally drive. When they got behind, when they were blocks behind me and I seen them, I had turned. So I was already down in blocks long over there, some of them blocks. So by the time I got to the end of the block, they started speeding up. You see what I'm saying? So I slowed down. When they hit them lights, I commenced to comply immediately. I complied. And so we had hung out a couple times and stuff like that. And let me see what I got right here. What? Accidentally gave me a... Yeah, I don't know who this is for. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. yeah, so yeah, I could work on that. Yeah, so we that fish was good. You know, I might need to get a patron or something like that. I might need to get a patron because I might get a patron or something like that. Maybe at some point, maybe I get like 500 to 1,000, 3,000 subscribers. I might have to get a patron, so I could get deep. You know what I'm saying? With some of these stories. Some of these stories, they ain't gonna be on YouTube. I mean, it ain't nothing like, but so I'm gonna go ahead and post this. But around that time, this was a story time for Jessamine Avenue, I'll say. So that's gonna be the title, Jessamine Avenue.